Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another weekly edition of Midrank Madness. This is a game between KingNNJ and Moderate on Frozen Temple. In the bottom right side of the map, we have the red Protoss player. It is Moderate. And in the top left side of the map, we have the blue Terran player. It is KingNNJ. Alright, I'm going to say King Not Night Jack? Night Jack? I don't know. KingNNJ types out "have a good game" period with a capital letter at the front. KingNNJ, don't you know this is the internet? Capital letters are banned and punctuation is also banned unless it is in the form of an emoji. Moderate says, "You too, Moderate knows what's going on the internet." Okay, so this is Midrank Madness, our weekly examination of gold, platinum, and diamond level plays from StarCraft 2 and the latter. If you would like to submit your replay to be considered for this feature, send it to falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of Midrank Madness. I'll go ahead and send it to my screeners. They will send the good ones back, and I will cast them. And that is how things go. It looks like we had a bit of some drama here. It looks like KingNNJ said, "Okay, you can pause." Then said, "Come on, man. I've got 30 seconds. I can't wait forever." And then Moderate came back. And KingNNJ said, "We support E." I think that meant to say welcome. If you look at the keyboard, yeah, I think his fingers were just off a little bit. And he meant to type welcome, but he did not. So let's take a look at our APM for these players. Helps us to know where we are with this game. Average of 30 for KingNNJ, average of 47 for Moderate. So that does not seem super promising, but I do like what these players are doing. That is a very nice Reaper expand coming out from KingNNJ with the block, not allowing the scout in there at all. Well played. Do like to see that one. Meanwhile, our Protoss player does have the Cyber Core coming up, getting the second gas after the Cyber Core. Well done indeed. Another player has managed to supply block themselves to this point, so that's a big deal. If you want to get out of silver, want to get out of bronze, you got to be able to not supply block yourself. You got to keep making those pylons, keep making overlords and supply depots, continue making workers, and everything will work out for you in the long run. So this is definitely a one-base play from our Protoss. And I said it was going to be a one-rax expand or a Reaper expand, but no, it is not going to be that at all, as we see the factory coming out for KingNNJ. So it could just be a Destiny Cloud Fist Strike build, as Husky coined it so many years ago. Adept on the way. Adept versus Reaper. Not bad. I do like the extra damage they do versus Reapers. Is it going to pop out in time, though? Checking for a base. Not one here. Reaper, keep moving. You can't hold still, man. Although, oh, you let that get up. You could have possibly stopped it by killing that probe first, but the probe's dead anyway, so I guess no harm, no foul there. Mothership Core, Photon Overcharge, and the Adept absolutely ripped that Reaper apart. That poor thing gets just absolutely destroyed there. So there is the second base there for Moderate. Waited for the Cyber Core first before getting it up. So I don't know. I mean, I guess at this point, considering that is a starport coming up from KingNNJ, Moderate's going to be up in the macro game, which is a big deal if you're Protoss at this point. It feels like Protoss do struggle a bit against Terran. If you can get better macro, get a bigger army, it's a lot easier for you to win these types of things. So there is a tank coming out there. Very, very defensive one-base play here from KingNNJ. Is he getting any upgrades at all? Nope, getting a missile turret. I suppose he is worried about oracles. You might have seen those in the past. But the thing is, I was going to say he scouted. He didn't, though. The Reaper tried to scout. The Reaper saw some things, but there could have been a starport over here as far as he knew. So when in doubt, go ahead and get up a missile turret. Especially at this level, it's not going to kill you. Go ahead and just do it. You don't have to worry about warp prisms or oracles or observers coming on in too far into your main base if you do that one. Is that? Nope, this is supply depot. Okay, and a Liberator. There it is. First Liberator coming out. So Liberators here, this was played before the latest patch, and so the damage from Liberators is consistent against all targets, anti-air or anti-ground, and so they did make a change to where a Liberator damage was nerfed a bit against non-light targets. So they do 9 damage versus Mutalisks and Phoenix and other light air units, but against other air units it's down to like 5 or 4. So not as good against things like battle cruisers and carriers as they used to be. Not really the all-time great air and ground unit that it was at one point. However, I feel like Protoss really had more of a problem with the defender mode ability right on there. That 85 damage per shot on the Concord cannon does two-shot that Adept. Seemed like it was outside the circle. No, it didn't. Never mind. It did not. Well, unless... What is this? Is there a sensor tower up? What am I looking at here? Oh, that's the... Is that the... No. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I am sick and it's kind of late. I'm trying to get my cast in for today, but please bear with me. Whew, so there's that warp prism I was talking about possibly coming out later on. An adept getting warped on in. Another one here as well, just to fill up the warp prism with all sorts of adepts. Is there anything defending against this Liberator? You know there are Liberators out, Moderate. You know they are there. Please get something. Get a cannon. Get... Nope, not going to happen. This Liberator is going to set up shop and absolutely lay waste to this base. There's nothing that Moderate is going to be able to do about that. Warp prism trying to sneak on in. Oh, it's a sensor tower. I was like, what on earth is that thing? Sensor tower. Those circles are big, man. There it is. Good pull, though. Good pull on the probes. And here comes the warp prism trying to sneak on in. There we go. Missile turret getting shops off. Getting its money worth here. And warp prism. Warp prism should die. Defender mode circle very important, too, though. Getting one of the adepts. And just walking outside that circle is Moderate. So it is a bit of a trade-off right now. A lot of dead SCVs. A lot of dead probes over on this side as well. Be so careful. Warp prism. Get the warp prism. Alright, so the adepts are just getting absolutely massacred right now. The tank is accidentally killing a couple SCVs with it, it would seem. Liberator, get out of anti-air mode. Get over there and kill that warp prism. I command you. Not going to happen. This guy has 9 kills, or girl rather, has 9 kills. Some pylons coming up. At least if you have pylons, you can photon overcharge them and force the Liberator to run away. But man, there was nothing there. The Liberator decides to come all the way back home. I think maybe KingNNJ is worried that if the Liberator mode circle goes away, that the adepts will come back on in. But I think you're all right. You have tanks. You have another tank here. You have some Marines down there. You're taking an expansion now. APM for these players is getting a little bit up there. 53 and 64. And come on, Warp Prism. What you got for us there? Nothing. Just putting the Fear of the God into Terran. Fear of the God? Fear of God into the Terran player. I think that's what's going on here, but not entirely sure. What is this? Fusion Core and 2 armories. Is KingNNJ going mech on us? Mech or Sky Terran? Possibly. Does have the 2 starports. Wow, is that a Zealot that just straight up died there? 50 damage versus armored. I don't know. Whatever got one shot, it was not a good feeling. So resources lost right now. 1,100 for Moderate. 650 for KingNNJ. You can see that thing get there. No, the Liberators came in too late. The Warp Prism sneaks out the back door and does manage to get home. So Fusion Core here. Could it just be battle cruisers? KingNNJ, you going BCs on us? I would be so happy if you were. This would be a good one. I would be so excited. Third Nexus on the way for Moderate. Keeping ahead by 1 base of his opponent. Some adepts trying to sneak on in. You can cancel this if you don't want to be here. I'm not sure if Moderate knows that, though. So sticks on in anyway. Does kill a couple SCVs, but these guys are going to die. The adepts taking a lot of tank fire, a lot of Marine fire. 1 Marine does go with them. Warp Prism in warp-in mode, just hanging out and now locking it down. With Defender mode circles and Marines and tanks. Income tab, 23 to 35 Harvesters. Moderate playing this well. Cannon, there we go. I like the cannon. Cannons are pretty good against Liberators. Nothing's been done with the Fusion Core quite yet. It is not being used for this fancy advanced ballistics research upgrade available for the Liberators. But it's not being used for BCs either. So I don't know what your plan is right now. Unless it's just mass Liberator. And you're going to get those upgrades. Yep, there's the +1 and +1 for the flying Terran units. And battle cruiser? No, I don't know. Stargate, though. Stargate on the way. Oh, could we see Sky Toss versus Sky Terran here? That would be good. That would be a good one for the channel. I would be very excited about that. All right, Immortals on the way. +2 grind weapons on the way. Music continues in the background. Warping on in here is a Dark Templar. Oh, yeah, one quick thing. If you're watching this, I'm going to go ahead and try. Is there a detection here? There's not. Oh, boy. Tank's gonna die. I'm gonna try to do like a free-for-all or a mono battle or an Imba League type thing with the subscribers. So go ahead and thinking about Friday night. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. So Friday night, Monday morning for some people, depending on what time it is and what part of the world that they are at. But that seems to be a good time to get together with people and just play stuff, because usually people don't have school or work the next day, and it just seems to be very convenient on that level. There is a Falcon Paladin channel in the StarCraft 2 client if you want to hop in there, just see who's there, talk to other fans of the channel, just kind of decide what we want to play. Then we can figure it out in the long run. So there's that. Also, I'm planning on doing a Q&A. So if you are a Falcon Paladin fan and you're watching this video, go ahead and put a question in the comments you want me to answer, and I'll answer some of them in a video where I show my face. I've done this before. I mean, I showed my face before. I've done a Q&A before. But anyway, I will do it on my webcam, which I have, and people will be, oh my gosh, that's what Falcon Paladin looks like. I had no idea. And I'll be like, it's out there. My face is out there, you guys. Anyway, yeah, put comments, and the best ones I will answer and hopefully try not to make them too long and boring and rambly, but that's what the people have wanted, and that's what we will try to do. So again, Friday nights, that when you want to play with me, and question and answer questions to be posted in the comment section of this video. All right. Meanwhile, back to StarCraft. We have Stalkers with +1/+1. Immortals also with +1/+1. Void Rays. All right, I like to see Void Rays. Usually don't see these unless they're in these lower level games, because they are really good at lower level games and not the best in professional games. Hyperflight Rotors coming up. That's weird. It's the wrong logo, I think, on my interface, or the interface here, interestingly enough. Anyway, Hyperflight Rotors coming up, increasing the speed of Banshees. Banshees do fairly well here. I guess that's a lot of Stalkers, though. Knocking down these rocks, some Zealots mixed in. I like the composition from Moderate. Look, good combination of stuff. Good against armored, good against tanks, good against flying units, good against Marines. Zealots here to absorb some damage. Well played indeed. But meanwhile, this Liberator Banshee play I am also a fan of for KingNNJ. Moderate starting to float some minerals here. About 1,200 minerals in the bank. Spending it, but not spending it quickly enough, I would say. +2/+2 Terran vehicle and ship plating and Terran ship weapons on the way. Command center here going to be a planetary fortress, playing super defensively. This never works out. Don't do this, you guys. Don't play super defensively. It is bad. It is so bad for you. 86 to 117 total supply. Armor supply 49 to 75. And here we go. Is he just going for it? Moderate might just be going for it here. Moving right on in. Archon leading the charge. Zealots absorbing some hits. Is there an observer? There is an observer, but it's gone. Oh, the Cloak Banshees are going to have free reign here. Free reign to just whack everything down. The Void Rays are going to take out those Liberators very, very quickly. The Cloak Banshee does Moderate know these are here. I do not know. Kill stuff, Void Rays. Get in there. Oh, just running away. Just running away. Your observer died, friend. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this. Making one. There it is. Production tab. Wow. I think KingNNJ was saved by Cloak Banshee there. I think if those didn't have Cloak, it would have been the end for our Terran player. But as it stands, KingNNJ lives another day. Still continuing to produce units. Here is our Protoss player. Not doing too poorly. Gas starting to creep up there too. DT's getting mixed on in. Says, anything you can do, I can do better. You want to make invisible units? I can make invisible units. Adepts coming to join the party. DT sneaking on in. There are missile turrets there, though. Banshee's cleaning them out. Few SCBs have died. 16 workers have been killed by Moderate. NNJ has killed 9 on his part, and it is 42 to 34 workers. So nobody necessarily getting anywhere huge on the macro side of things, or a huge advantage. Moderate, again, on 3 bases, is going to be very, very good on that way for the money. But otherwise, I don't know. So backing on out, here is Moderate. Void Rays flying across as well. KingNNJ really should expand, and he is. He's making command center to land it here. Did that one here get killed? I think he did have one here that got blowed up. Resources lost 3,800 to 5,600. Moderate has lost more stuff. Total units lost is 43 to 42, though. That's actually creepily even. Is KingNNJ replacing his Liberators? He is. He's making 3 right now. He has a lot of Cloak Banshee here. How many observers do you have, Moderate? I'd like to say you have 2. Fleet Beacon on the way. Fleet Beacon coming up for our Protoss player. Possibly Carriers. Possibly Tempest. Carriers would be actually really good right here, except for this bunch of Vikings, so maybe not. Especially considering the upgrades they have. Thor's mixed in as well. Moderate is going mech. Alright. Alrighty then. Sky mech with some Thor mixed in. There's that 4th base on the way for Moderate. And the observer is here. Alright, so here's the problem. You got to stay out of the way of that missile turret or kill it real, real fast. Alright, can you live? Can you live, observer? Where are you? I don't even know where it is. Either way, it looks... Oh, the observer was alive! Oh, it just exploded right there. You have to keep it alive! Why did you just fly it in there again? Oh, Moderate. Second observer shows up. Alright, are there enough Stalkers to handle this? I'm not sure if there are enough Stalkers to handle these 5 Banshees with +2 attack. 14 times 2 is 28. 28 per shot is a lot. Stalkers only have 160 hit points. That adds up, especially considering their fire rate, which is pretty good. 0.89. Yeah, 0.89 weapon speed. That is faster than once every second. There's the carrier. Carrier's on the way for Moderate. All right, let's see how this works out for our Protoss player. 3rd base has been planted. 4th base ready to rock and being mined from by Moderate. But neither player currently making workers, and only at about 40 total for each player. Double expand. on the way for KingNNJ. All right, I'm a fan of this. So again, keep making workers. Keep making them till you have at least 60. 65, 70 is good. 80 if you're a crazy person. 85 if you're a Zerg, I guess you could do that. But really, you don't need any more than that. But 40 is not acceptable. Not great. Another observer dies. Stop flying in there. Now there's a Raven. Now there's a Raven. Those observers are in so much trouble. Moderate, back out, man. Run for your life. Get out of there. If these Cloak Banshees see you, you will die. Instead, he's very happily just sitting here with his +2 attack, getting shields level 1, which does benefit ground and flying units together at the same time. So I can understand why he's getting that one, considering the carrier production that is on the way. Gas, fairly gas starved. How many simulators are we running off here? 1, 2. Those ones are dead. 3, 4, and 5, 6. Almost. Just finished the simulators. Get that gas. Get that gas. That's something I always do when I'm playing and I get an expansion, is get the gas going first. Of course, I am a Zerg player, so that makes sense. But here it is. Is there an observer in your army? I don't know that there is. Scanning for it. Not seeing one. Here we come. NNJ hunting for that immortal. Wants that thing dead first of all. Now it's time to run. But the observer comes in. Get some shots off. Does not actually kill the Banshees because their upgrades, once again, are fantastic. What do we need for +3, man? Get those going. Might as well get +3 at this rate. Hyperflight rotors means they move speed at 5.25. That's like Mutalisk move speed, man. They are quick. They're very quick indeed. Going to try to get some hits off over here. There's a single cannon. I'm not sure that if that is actually enough to hold it. Otherwise, most of the armor's over here for moderate. Maybe a carrier could defend, but yeah, that cannon died immediately. And goodbye mineral line. Running. Good reaction time for moderate. Just trying to get the heck on out of there, but a lot of probes are being absolutely exploded right now. Another base coming up, just expanding while this is happening. Moderate says, I'm not worried about it. Not worried at all. Where the crap are the carriers? I don't know. The stalkers do come in and they chase away the Banshees before the Nexus actually falls. Where are you guys? Over here? Alright, I mean, I guess you could have made the trip over here to try to save your second base, but whatever at this point. The probes run all the way over here before the Nexus is finished. This base is now complete. It is getting upgraded into a planetary fortress. So darn important, so good at holding things like that. Run. More and more Thors coming out. Not sure how useful they will be, especially considering they don't have attack upgrades, as those are not shared between air and ground units. Once again, this army sitting here, despite the fact the Banshees chased them away. It only chased them away about 30 feet. They are still here. Banshees flying back on in. Stalkers with Observer ready to rock. Nothing actually mining here, so nothing should die. Unless the Banshees move on into the main base. And no, they want to kill this Nexus. There's the blink. And there's the Nexus explosion. Any of these Banshees end up getting killed? No. Good job keeping those guys alive. Resources lost again, 9,000 to 5,000 in favor of KingNNJ. He's done a better job keeping his stuff alive. Army, again, not looking super fantastic. Harvesters, 50 to 41. So KingNNJ's been macroing. He's making 5 SCVs at a time right now. Okay, so he heard my instructions. He heard my suggestion. That's where he's going with. That's a lot of mules. That income tab is going to skyrocket in just a couple seconds here. Ready, set, skyrocket. Yeah, 2,000, 2,300, 2,400. Mules are good for that mineral income. Refineries already rocking. Refineries rocking here. Assimilators. Come on, moderate. You need that gas. If you're making carriers, you need that gas. Carriers are expensive. It's at 250, not 300, but 250 gas per carrier. That adds up and adds up quick. Terran ship weapons, level 3 on the way. 5th Nexus? 1, 2, 3, well, I guess technically 6th Nexus, but this one is gone. So 6th base. Coming up for moderate. Really macro heavy right now. KingNNJ going for his 5th. Has not lost the command center, so it is his 5th. Faux show. And spending their money fairly well. I mean, nobody's going crazy right now with the bank, but 1,300, 500, okay. Okay, doing all right. Mothership on the way. Oh, moderate, you're making a mothership. This has been like the 3rd mothership we've seen on the channel in the last month. It's kind of crazy. These guys are insane assassins. Banshees say, we don't care if you can see us. No, just kidding, they do. They do care if you can see them. They will back out. I feel like they could have won that fight anyway. The Stalkers do have +2 attack, 60 damage versus armored. Are Banshees armored? No, they're light. They don't even do extra damage versus them. Good heavens. Banshees sneaking on in. This one Void Ray can kill all of them. It's just a question of what happens first here. Tempest, get a shot off. Carrier doing some stuff too. Do you only have 1 interceptor? You have one interceptor. How is that possible? Void Ray taking out one of the Banshees? No. Not fast enough. 3.15 move speed. These guys with the 5.25 and the upgrade are amazing. Accidentally finds this Nexus. Decides might as well lay waste to this one. Nexus probably going to fall here too. These Banshees are absolutely causing big time problems for Moderate. But I think there's a lot of money invested into these Banshees. If Moderate just goes for it with the carriers and the Void Rays, I think he might just straight up win this thing. So here we go. Banshees trying to base race this. I mean, I don't know why else they'll be flying over this way. There's nothing to kill. There are no bases to kill. Workers killed 26 by KingNNJ. Moderate has lost 16. It is 63 to 39. KingNNJ looking good, looking healthy. Army supply 137 to 127 has the lead there as well. But again, these Banshees are largely useless against this Sky Protoss army. It's not all Sky Protoss. There are still a lot of Stalkers here. Banshee's deciding what to prioritize to kill because there is nothing here to stop them from doing this. Gets rid of the fleet beacon. No more carrier production until those are done. Wait, was that the fleet beacon? I think it was. All right, moving on up here. Stalkers in the front, carriers doing stuff as well. You need to cloak over here, mothership. Over here, mothership. There's the scan, keeping everything alive. Point defense drone is up and exploded as well. There's the cloak that's going to wear off. Are there any ravens here? No. There are not. Mothership, be so careful attacking individual interceptors. The Vikings not doing as well as they could. There we go. Now focusing down that mothership. Couple more volleys, and it is completely gone. The cloak is out, but the carriers are here. A Raven gets destroyed here. Hellbound on the ground trying to deal with these Adepts. Doing a fairly good job of it. Does take it out. The Thors don't know what to attack. Meanwhile, Banshees just laying waste to the main base. There are two carriers, however, making additional interceptors. Chasing the Banshees away. They are very low on energy and cannot be cloaked. Meanwhile, more and more Vikings coming out. KingNNJ does not know. Interceptors focusing down a supply depot. Missile turrets. Oh, now they're focusing down the missile turret. Carriers continue to move on in. Oh, two Thors pop out. They are on rally and they are now attacking interceptors. No, they're attacking the carrier. Immortal and Stalker going to town on this factory, and Zealots coming in to finish the job. Alright, so I think the Protoss player has a very good handle on this game. Expansions galore, everywhere mining, and this Banshee is not long for the world. Kaboosh. One carrier back, holding defense against the Banshees. And this planetary fortress is not long for the world, especially because the SCPs are not repairing it, just happily mining, acting like nothing is wrong. And there goes another factory. Okay, so it's 107 to 62 total supply here. 21 to 70 on the army supply. Protoss player looking good with the carriers, man. Carriers, it turns out, are pretty good in these lower level games. Thor pops out once again, wants to get some shots off on those carriers. Does do, what is it, 6 damage times 4, 24 damage per shot to a carrier. But when there are this many carriers, your lifespan is not very long as a Thor pilot, unfortunately. Continuing, oh, now going into Viking production. All right. So NNJ knows what he's doing here, going for Vikings that do very well against everything that is here. Really great against Tempest, great against Carrier, as these are all massive units and Vikings do extra damage to them. Here we go. As long as you're not trying to focus down Interceptors, which are not what they're good at. Ooh, even +3 attack here. 17 damage times 2 versus armored attack speed of 1.43, and the range on the Vikings so good. So now the question is, can the Terran player come back at all? It's 37 to 21 Harvesters. It's not like Protoss has a massive advantage. Although, oh, all of these starports making Vikings are in a lot of trouble. Where you have to go save your friends, Vikings. Get out of here. Don't sit here defending. You have to save these starports. I don't think they're going to make it there in time, though. They might try, but that's definitely not going to happen. Trying to float a command center down this way. We'll have the rude awakening that there is already... Yep, there is already a base there, and it is the Protoss base, so that's not going to look good at all for the Terran player. This base, once again, not being repaired. The planetary fortress explodes into a giant ball of flame. I think all is done here but the yelling. 123 to 33 total supply. Production tab shows continued carrier production out of Moderate. Another command center dying. Kaboosh. Structures tab showing quite a lot of stuff here for the Terran. But really, it's mostly add-ons. There's a fusion core there. Production facilities, one factory, and that is it for KingNNJ right now. He is landing some Vikings. He's going to take this base out. Actually, there's a siege tank here and some Vikings trying to get some shots off. I wonder if the splash damage is hurting his own Vikings here. No, it doesn't look like it is. These guys might try to land. The Thor lending its attack. 30 damage times 2. bam, helping to take out that Nexus. The command center could land, but the carriers are on their way. Dun da 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 da. Dun da 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 da. So NNJ is in this until the very end. I have to commend him for his persistence in trying to win this game, taking out the fleet beacon and a cybernetics core. I mean, those are pretty big things to kill if you're trying to kill an enemy, but at this point, the army is just too big. There are too many carriers here with +1 attack, with +1 shields, and +1 plating. Sky plating, I guess. Is that what they call it here? Air armor? I can't even tell because the cybernetics core is gone. So here we come. Everybody, ground army and air army coming in together here. Zealot absorbing a lot of the damage. Immortal getting some shots off on that Thor. No, actually focusing down. Ugh, everything dies anyway. Focusing down the Vikings, but it didn't really matter. KingNNJ has 1 supply left. What is that thing? NSCV, where is it? Hiding over here in the middle of nowhere, and that's it. The rage quit from KingNNJ, and Moderate is victorious. What an absolutely fun mid-rank madness for you guys this week. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Once again, Skytoss, not so great at the professional levels just because the pros know what to counter this particular composition with, but in the lower levels, gold, bronze, silver, platinum, you can get away with it, honestly, and that's exactly what happened here for Moderate today. So hats off to Moderate for making this thing work. I loved the expansion game that was going on, did a great job throughout the game, keeping those bases going. In the end, it did lose 32 workers, but killed 78. When you can kill 78 workers of your opponents, it is very difficult to lose the game, and Moderate pulled it out today. So that's it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin with yet another weekly edition of Mid-Rank Madness. If you would like to be featured in Mid-Rank Madness, go ahead and send me an email to falconpaladin@gmail.com with your replay attached. Make sure it is a great replay. I will send them to my screeners, and they will decide which ones are the best and most worthy for this feature, and then send them back, and I will cast them. That's how this works. You can also find me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /FalconPaladin. Go ahead and check me out on those social networks. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.
Ascension before us. Our honor guides us. Me with you, you with me. We are as one. Justice. Our duty is unending. I feel your presence. We are as one. Sense of soul, a soul in search of the answers. May the gods watch over you. Kushala Adu. Ascension is before us. Our honor guides us. Me with you, you with me. We are as one. I sense a soul. A soul in search of the answers. May the gods watch over you. Kushala Adu. Sense a soul. A soul in search of the answers. May the gods watch over you. Kushala Adu. I sense a soul. A soul in search of the answers. May the gods watch over you. Kushala Adu. Kalarulas. Paramulas. Aklaranus. Naslaran. Kinalatu. Casar di Templare. Undaramanarga. Oshara Sashia.